Matt Harvey's made just 17 starts for the Mets so far this year. So in light of the fact that the Mets are out of the race at this point, why is it so important, Nelson, for him and others on the road to recovery to come back and pitch or play this year?
Well, when you're on the mound and you're a young pitcher and things are going well, everything's working perfect, you feel like you're invincible. Then all of a sudden you have a bump in the road. But when you have a major bump in the road, like surgery, and not just one surgery, but 2 surgeries, now you're talking about coming back from that and trying to feel 100% with just the physicality of being a Major League Baseball player again. Going out there and getting outs and trying to see where you're at, it's always a good gauge to do it at the major league level. Bullpens will do one thing, minor league assignments will do another thing, but he has to get back on the major league mound, see that he can get outs again and get that confidence again, because we hadn't seen confidence and good body language out of Harvey for at least the last 2 years. Without a doubt, that's what he needs to do, is go out there, get some outs, and feel like he's the Harvey of old.
All right, so again, he is going to pitch in Game 1 of the doubleheader down in Houston on Saturday, and just a short time ago, he met with the media in Cincinnati. Let's listen in right now.
Matt, I mean, at this point, how do you feel going into this start?
I feel good. I was able to go right around 75 pitches last start, and I think the biggest test was how I was going to recover in between, that many pitches, and I think today was probably my best bullpen yet so far. So excited to be back with the team and finish off on a strong note.
You feel like all your pitches are where you want them to be at this point?
Yeah, I was able to. You mix in things down there, and you're not really thinking about the final result. You're going down there to really work on things and concentrate on your mechanics and timing and get all that back. And I feel like this last one I was able to do that really well. And this bullpen, like I said, was the best one so far. So, like I said, it's exciting. I'm glad to be back and glad to be healthy for the first time in a long time.
How much importance are you placing just personally on these last 5 weeks to try and get yourself into the right mental space, at least going into the off season?
Well, I think being healthy is the biggest part. I think finally coming back and not having any issues in between an outing or like a bullpen session, not getting sore from those, that's the biggest thing. If I can get five, 6 solid starts in and feel healthy and strong in between each start and going into each start and going into the offseason strong and healthy, that's the biggest thing moving forward.
Dan had mentioned they were encouraged by the fact you were repeating your delivery in the last. Was the velocity at all concern, just that it wasn't normally what it was? Or?
I think everybody's so worried about velocity. It's about getting hitters out. That's the biggest thing. If I can go out there and be healthy and get people out, that's the most important thing. I feel like I've been around long enough and been injured long enough to realize that velocity isn't everything, and getting people out and staying healthy is the most important thing. And, I'm not worried about where that's going to be. Once you get some adrenaline going and get a professional hitter in there, things will start working the way they're supposed to. If I can keep the mechanics the way I want to, velocity will be there.
Matt, you mentioned that you were happy with the way you recovered in between bullpens. Was that something you were having a problem with in the past or this season?
Yeah, it's been 2 years of having some troubles in between starts, trying to figure out why the mechanics were so bad, why I just couldn't stay healthy or unsore in between starts, and bullpens were becoming a task, and that's usually not how things go or should go. And trying to fight through that, it was not easy, but it's been a relief to come back after 2 months off and be able to throw in between starts, get all my work done, and have no pain, no issues, and feel like we're going in the complete opposite direction, the right direction into good mechanics and being able to repeat that consistently. So it's been a good couple weeks of getting everything back and being healthy.
Well, that's a positive Matt Harvey right there. And he said, not about velocity, it's about getting hitters out. And you, my friend, you applauded that right there. So why did you applaud that?
About time we start hearing exactly what needs to be done as a starting pitcher in the big leagues. Getting outs, focusing on being able to execute your pitches, not worrying so much about mechanics or velocity. The velocity could never come back. but you can still get outs with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. We've seen Bartolo Colon do it for the last 20 years. I'm not saying he needs to pitch like Bartolo Colon, but Bartolo Colon has more confidence in that fastball and his ability to use that fastball to get outs, throwing it 92% of the time. Matt Harvey still has good enough stuff to keep them off the fastball. It's about executing that fastball. It's about setting up some of the other pitches to get some weak contact. That's what pitching is all about. Finally, now with the velocity thing behind him and talking about being healthy and also talking about being able to be sore between outings and not being in pain. That's the biggest key.
All right, so that's saying it. We're going to see how it plays out when he does get on the mound. He also talked about mechanics and repeating his delivery. What does he have to show you early in his start on Saturday to say, okay, I'm buying into what he's selling?
Well, the thing with the mechanics, I mean, these guys got to the major leagues. It wasn't because they had bad mechanics. They had good mechanics, good enough to make it to the major leagues. Then once they started realizing that they weren't perfect mechanics, that's where it started to be that mindset, and it took over, and it spread like wildfire throughout this rotation. I got tired of hearing mechanics after every start. Oh, it's something in my mechanics. No, it was something in the execution of that slider that you hung over the middle of the plate. That's what it comes down to. So now that you hear him talking about executing pitches, not worrying about velocity, I hope he's not worried about mechanics, because the time to worry about mechanics was down in the minor leagues. When you're trying to get yourself right and get back to the major leagues, go out there and execute and get guys out.